Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing great. Is getting kind of hot today. It's fine though. It is what it is. Got some solar stuff going on, like solar rays, solar heat, solar energy. Not really solar energy, but definitely solar heat. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty warm today. So, yeah, Bob is angry today. Bob, for those of you who don't know, is big orange ball. Bob. Uh, yeah, so it's really hot. Um, you know, some people are grumpy. You ever meet those people who are just perpetually grumpy, who are just angry all the time and all the time? Uh, yeah. So it's kind of what I want to talk about. We understand that you know, God hardened Pharaoh's heart so that way God's will could be done, and the people of Egypt and the world would know the one true God, to know who He is, and to show the Israelites who God is, and what He will do for them and take them out of the land of oppression. But a lot of us, we don't need God to harden our hearts. We do that just fine on our own. The sin nature often presents itself in self-idol worship. We become the idol. We become the object of our own love and the object of our own obsession. It becomes all about us. It becomes about our personal pleasure. So we don't need God to harden our hearts because we're doing fine on our own with that. But a lot of people, what I call, have a prickly heart, where they're angry, they're bitter, they're not very nice to others. They get their pleasure on being cruel. I was bullied a lot when I was a kid. Go figure. Nerd, right? Which actually a lot of people, I don't know if they actually knew that I was a huge closet nerd back then, but I was bullied a lot. I was beat up. It was not just emotional, but it was physical. I would get beat up on my way home from school. I would get tossed around at school. I'd get pushed around. I received swirlies at school. My books and stuff were taken. I had my shoes taken multiple times and thrown around the locker room. Sometimes I had my shoes thrown into urinals. Sometimes it was while people were using the urinal. So it was all pretty awful. I got punched around a lot on the bus, and it was pretty bad. It got to the point where I didn't want to go to school anymore. It got to the point where I would fake being sick so I wouldn't have to go to school, and just because I couldn't have another day of it. But as I've grown up, I've realized that those people that were bullying, it was because that there was something missing in their own heart. They were missing something in their lives. They were missing love in their lives, and they were powerless, probably at home, and bullying others gave them a sense of power. It gave them a sense of control and something they could control, because there were other aspects of their lives they couldn't control. And I understand that now. 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old me didn't understand that. I didn't understand why God was punishing me, and why I was getting beat up all the time, and why I looked a little different and sounded a little different, and I didn't understand what it was about me that caused so much problems, and why other people just didn't seem to like me. And really, ultimately, what it comes down to is it's a heart. Those people who were bullying, there was something missing in their heart. They probably had some home troubles. They felt like they were powerless. They needed to control something, and that's where the joy of bullying comes in. They found joy in it. They found power in it, and a little bit of power goes a long way sometimes. So what do we do if we are the type of person who is just perpetually cranky? What do we do if we're the type of person who is short-tempered and angry and bitter? If we are angry at the world because the world has given us a raw deal, which, fun fact, the world gives most of us a raw deal. The world being a sinful, fallen world, it's not an easy place. This place is hard to navigate. There's a lot of hills, there's a lot of thorns, there's a lot of obstacles. This place that we call Earth is a very fallen world, full of sin, full of death and decay. And because we live in a place where we have free will, in a sinful world, people will make bad, horrible, awful decisions. We all make bad decisions, some worse than others, but ultimately when it comes to the foot of the cross, all sin is created equal. There is no sin greater than another. And because of that, we need to look at ourselves. We need to ask God into our hearts, and we need to do some heart cleaning. We need to clean up a little bit of the brush that sits around in our hearts. And we need to make sure that our hearts aren't filled with poison ivy and thistles and thorns. We need to make sure that our heart is filling up with love, filling up with things that are better for us. So in that notion, Psalm 51:10, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. How much do we need that? We are suffering every day. People suffer, people have hardships, and we need to remember, one, we need to be there for one another. We need to show love for one another. We need to show empathy for one another. We need to show kindness for one another. And we need to be able to show those who are suffering, who are going through tough times, we need to show them love. And we need to show them mercy and compassion. Because everybody's challenges are different. And if we are prickly and we are off-putting, then that's not going to be beneficial for anybody. We all need a clean heart. We all need our hearts renewed and the brush cleared out. And Ezekiel 36:26, and I will give you a new heart and a new spirit I will put within you. And I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. We need to ask God every day to renew our hearts, to renew our spirits, especially in tough times when it seems like our frustration and our hurt is going to be just more than we can take. We all face these struggles, and sometimes the storms come and they're like a Category 5 hurricane that lasts just days and weeks, that just pounds and pounds and pounds. And if we're not careful, that storm can erode the fortress of our heart, and it can leave very little left if we're not careful. But we need to ask for renewal. We need to ask for that strength to continuously build in love and in mercy. We need to understand that some people's hearts will be deceitful. In Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? We understand some people's hearts aren't good. Some people's intentions are not good. Some people are just hurtful, and they thrive on that pain of others. And we need to understand that they need prayers too. We have to be praying for them. We have to show them love and kindness and compassion. Even while on the cross, Christ was being belittled by those on the ground around him, the soldiers casting lots for his stuff, people spitting on him as he was carrying the cross to the skull. And yet he said, Father, forgive them. Are we forgiving? Are we getting to a point in our lives where we can forgive quickly and easily? Or are we holding on to grudges and allowing that to poison our hearts? Are we praying for those who are holding on to grudges, so that way their heart will be lightened, and that their heart of stone will be crumbled, and in its place a new heart? I think Proverbs 4:23 really says it. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. What we are, who we are, flows from our heart. Our heart is the point of where we bear fruit, whether it be good fruit or poisonous fruit. Our hearts is where it starts. And if we have a heart for Jesus Christ, if we have a heart for the love that God shared for us, his only begotten Son, so that way anyone who believes in him should have everlasting life, our heart is where it needs to start. And we need to make sure that we're not sitting around with prickly, thorny vines. Go get some brush killer and start clearing away the brush, and get that metal rake and start cleaning up your heart, and find what you need. Find that medicine in Christ, because he is the cure for sin. I hope everybody has a beautiful, wonderful day. I hope everybody enjoys this very sunny day. If it's not sunny where you are, that's okay. God sends the rain, God sends the sun, or the snow, or the storms, whatever. God is in control, and we need to remember that in all things, God is in control. And whatever we say, or do, or eat, or drink, do for the glory of God, always. All right. Love y'all. Take care.